My name's Nikita Thakrar. I was born in Slough, Berkshire, and my family from here, originally from India. My father's an accountant and my mother's a nurse, so I come from quite an academic family, quite a professional family. So when I first decided that I wanted to go into dancing instead of going to university, it was quite a shock for my family, but they did accept it and they supported me and they let me go off to India to do my training as opposed to going to university. When I came back from 6 months of training in India, I decided that that was definitely what I wanted to do and that I wanted to become a professional dancer. And so from then on, I kept working towards it. I kept going back to India to further my training and started training from a classical Indian guru over here in Kathak dance. People had found out that I had been to India and I'd been training, and I got asked to dance at an event in Scotland, and they asked me for a group of dancers, and they wanted a half-an-hour performance, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, the event was only about a month away and I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but I did. I auditioned and I got loads of dancers together, I choreographed the piece, I put it all together, and we flew off to Scotland, and that was the first event that I did, and that was a really successful event and very memorable as well. My first job as a teacher, again, is funny because one of my very good friends, she came to me and she asked me to teach her daughter. Her daughter was only 4 at that time. To train a 4-year-old one-to-one is very challenging, but I did it, and that girl's turned out very well now. She does lots of performances, and from there I started training other students and other kids and other age groups, and I now run a dance academy and company which trains over 200 students, and I still regularly perform myself. A lot of people over here and even in India these days are doing a lot of Western dance, and I think people find it a little bit refreshing and authentic that I do very Indian dance. Sometimes I see Bollywood films today and I'm confused as to what the source is, where it's actually coming from. Bollywood has been through a lot of phases. It used to take inspiration from cabaret, and there was an era where it took it from Kathak as well, like the Mughal era. So they've taken inspiration from different forms, whereas these days, like I said, I get confused as to which forms they've taken the inspiration from, because just within one item, within one song, there's so many different styles. My style personally is very much based on classical Indian. As I'm trained in Kathak, I do focus on Kathak a lot. A lot of the source of all of my dance is always taken from Kathak. Like, I always train all the students to come in and put their hands together and say namaste to me, and then same at the end. So it's not just dancing that we're teaching them, it's also the values that we're implementing into their lives, which a lot of these kids wouldn't get otherwise. So I think Bollywood is fantastic because it brings you closer to the Indian culture. Not just when I train, but also when I perform, when I go out to corporate events or when I do my own stage productions. The compliments that we get afterwards are that people really were entertained and they felt really close to India, which for me seems like a bit funny because obviously I've been to India so much and I know that there's much purer India than just Bombay and Bollywood. But I think it's excellent for them because they find the music so uplifting, obviously the costumes are colourful, it's also glamorous. And I think that does make them more aware of India and it does open their mind a bit. So I think Bollywood is really very good for everybody living in this country especially.